Welcome to the Comin Up Charlotte podcast produced by Deneka Thomas and amílcar Sanatan. This limited podcast series is all about real life in East Port of Spain. It is about the hustle, the people, the everyday work that keeps the city moving, the stories of the ones who make Charlotte Street, aka Chinatown, what it is. We're talking with Miss Helen Henry-Alleyne, also known as Miss Cicely, a seamstress in Eastside Plaza, whose goal is to continue serving her community through her work. She says she wants to live until 120, and this is her story.
Good afternoon, Aunty C. It's a pleasure to have you here to have this conversation. We were appointed to have the conversation with you, so actually walking into the studio, I could see how charismatic you are.
Yeah, thank you.
You have a very coherent philosophy about health and well-being.
Oh, yes.
And you share good company. Clearly, you have friends here because your colleague here has been a friend to you for decades.
Yes, several years.
So can you tell us who you are?
I'm just me, a simple entrepreneur that started my business after I left working, after I retired from working with the credit union, County Council's Employees Credit Union. And through the manager that I had, which was Edward Garcia, who had people pursue the things that they figured that felt that they wanted to get into and would give them a livelihood and be able to make a livelihood from, I started my business. From County Council's Employees Credit Union to this, to where I am now. Okay? And this is, from that time to now, this is where I'm at.
That's very interesting because you said the children would call you Aunty C. Mm-hmm. Your government name, as we would say, is Helen Henry-Alleyne. Mm-hmm. The business is Cicely. Mm-hmm. You believe in community empowerment. You came through the credit union movement. Yes. You're here as an entrepreneur in Eastside Plaza. You could speak to that relationship between entrepreneurship and community empowerment to you, as it means to you.
Well, Eastside Plaza came after working with the credit union and being empowered by Edward Garcia, who he empowered all the workers, all the employees to do the things that would make them happy in their jobs as a livelihood. And we were taught that if you work with that, you wouldn't have a problem all your life. You can move on to where you feel you're better at, or you can stay if you're comfortable with where you're at. Although we are told that being too comfortable where you're at is no challenge for you. Challenge it and see if that's where you want to be. This is where I wanted to be. Because I traveled abroad, I did a lot of traveling and ended right back here. I didn't only work in Port of Spain or Trinidad, I worked in Tobago also. I spent several years in Tobago working as a credit union officer. I was a field officer for the credit union, County Council's Employees Credit Union. And we were empowered. All the workers were empowered. Whatever you like, get into it. Although we were rated as second-class citizens because if you're in the credit union and you wanted a loan, your clients came before you could ever get a loan. I'm serious. You were always considered second-class citizens. So we had to take care of our people before we could ask for a loan.
That's quite interesting. When you speak about your work, you're not only looking at the profit and your individual livelihood, there's this language of care that you are using. As a seamstress, do you think you bring care into the work that you do as well?
This is one of the reasons that I'm still here. At 80, who wants to be sitting down and working? How many people do you know, in fact, that sits down and work at 80 years
But
old?
Aunty C, you're not a normal 80 years old as well.
I am
You can
quite
establish
normal.
that.
I'm quite normal. I'm quite normal.
Walking
Very,
in.
very normal.
And you gave me a whole lecture on skincare.
and practical.
Yeah, but you definitely are very healthy and you don't look in the 80s at all.
Well, I like it this way too, eh? I happen to like it this way. You have to be 80 because if you're living and you're living proper, you're going to be 80 and you're going to be more than 80. And you have to do it nice. Do it nice now. Come on. You want to be nice at 80? Good. Do it nice.
What is the role of beauty? Even though I'm in I see this nexus between like what the seamstress is doing, a tailor is doing, the barber, the nail tech. I come here, I see you have some lipstick on, I see your eyebrows are marked, you're very fashionable and African cultural clothes.
Yes,
discuss
all
that
of that.
idea of beauty and self-fashion. Why is it important?
We were just speaking. And we were just speaking about the very same thing that you have come in here and started this morning. We started it before you. And it is something that happens all the time here. We would start a conversation between the both of us because we are conversing all day, whole day. Sometimes when people are in and out. And what I'm doing with you is what I do with people whole day, every day. Even the kids are coming here. And I have kids that come in here from 3 years old right up to 40 years old. And this is whole day. When you came in, we were just talking about a kid who stood up and looked at one kid come to me and say, Aunty C, good morning. And the kid came and hugged me. And this one, I don't know him very well. He said, oh God, Aunty C, I want my hug too. And we were just talking about it. Now, there has to be something for somebody, even as a kid, to want some of it. Whatever that was, or whatever it is. Therefore, there has to be something that you have that those kids would see that would cause them to gravitate towards you, one, or cause them to want whatever their idea of what it is for them to come to you. Now, as I'm saying, I don't know the guy very long, but he is a young man. And I got to know him through his aunt. Whatever I'm doing here, and somebody come to me, I want somebody to see about a phone for me. I would send them straight to him. There's a guy next door. Just go around and see. You would see him because he doesn't have up a sign, but he has up his telephone number. But you'll see he has all this stuff on his table and he's working with it. We are now talking that we don't know him that well. He just started to work here sometime late last year. It could be about 8 or 10 months. But he is satisfied enough to feel that he's comfortable enough. That the kids around are always here and he wants to be one of the kids too. And all the kids, today is Monday, hardly anybody's here on Monday. But you come here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Here, that dog goes in and out. Also holy.
Aunty C, you're quite interested in the studio itself. I'm seeing African iconography. I'm seeing Operation Abundant Harvest. That seemed to be a Christian kind of charismatic event.
I'm a Baptist.
And it's concealed here as well, but I don't know if that is Krishna that you have here or Lakshmi. I can't see it, but
put the blind back.
Portrait.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a sense of spirituality that you have here.
Work, first and foremost, is spiritual work. It used to be everything. I used to do a little of everything. Before I became a full-time seamstress. No. In fact, that led on to this. I started working as a machine operator in a factory. Now, a lot of people, how old are you? Don't mind me asking a question?
I'm 35 and a half.
You wasn't even born yet when I was working. You're baby. I can be a grandmother, even a great-grandmother for that matter. I used to work across on Queen Street. There was a place there called the Jumans Building that they're letting rot and fall to the ground now. That I used to work in that place. There was a place called Debutine. There was two names, Debutine, and it was called Sportwear Limited, owned by Mr. Ian Schwell. He's dead now. He left and went off to Canada. And there was Elegant Sportwear and Debutine Sportwear. Elegant Sportwear was downstairs, Debutine Sportwear was up top. And there wasn't a factory in Port of Spain that could add up to that factory. I look around now and I try to see if there's anybody that can reach that far, open a garment factory that stop all these 2 cent or 2 big set of clothes from coming here. I'm serious.
The imported clothes you're
Imported clothes, yes, I'm talking about the Chinese imported clothes. Listen to me. You can wear debutante clothes. You can purchase debutante clothes. You couldn't do it. It was top of the line. They used to export to Barbados, St. Vincent, Jamaica, Grenada, all the small islands out there. He used to make money. Right? And then he decided that he had had enough and he left and went off to Canada. I think his son is still here. There is still I think there is a company, Braiding. I think he still works at Braiding. Yes, Braiding, Michael Schwelt. It's his son. And he manages something at Braiding. I'm not so sure. I stand to be corrected. But he had a factory, and that's where I started. I got practically all of my experience from there. Right? When he closed down, I left and went to the States.
Eastside Plaza was built in 1991 on the grounds of the old Eastern Market, a place where people had been buying and selling for generations. The building itself is about 100 years old, and since 1991, it has worked as a business incubator, helping entrepreneurs turn small hustles into steady businesses. Today, it still carries that same spirit of trade and community in the heart of Port of Spain. This is Comin Up Charlotte, and now back to the episode.
I spent some time there backward and forward, but because this was bought in this and another machine I have, they were bought in America and brought back here. I traveled to other West Indian islands, such as Barbados, St. Vincent, Curacao, Aruba. I have traveled a lot of different places, right? Because I wanted to see how the other half lives.
I'm quite interested, Aunty C. When I walk into your studio, I do get a sense that I'm moving in time. The machines that you still have here is obviously you have a relationship to them.
Oh, yes.
This is a singer sewing machine, which does not sell on the internet, I'm sure right now.
I'm not sure if it does, because I don't even look to see if it is.
But you choose to stay with the tech that you feel comfortable with, to have some kind of intimate connection to.
I progress with tech.
Well, I know you have mobile phones and stuff out.
Yes, computers. I have 3 computers in the corner there. I sent some in the corner there.
Why do you keep working with some of the technology that you had from, but like all the history?
I'm comfortable with it. I'm familiar with it. Also, comfort and familiarity makes for better living for me.
Yes.
Right? I can progress on because I can use a computer. Right? I have computers in the corner there. I can use a computer. But that don't mean to say I have to be stuck here. You understand what I'm saying? Apart from the fact that a lot of things are being graded up. For instance, if you watch where my hands are, you see this?
Yes.
This is the motor that is on this machine. I had this put in 7 weeks ago. Now, normally when you come in here, you would see a motor this big here. Because that is the the size of motor that the machine was bought with. However, right now the technology says this is the motor. I had this changed and put in here. And this is what they put in for a motor now. And it is the whole motor as the big one, but it's just minute or miniature. And it works the same way. So which means that I am keeping in line or upgraded to whatever is happening and coming out. I'm not going to be stuck in the 80s because I'm 80 years old. I have to. With all the kids that's coming here, I have to move on to be able, and move up to be able to talk to them. What used to be, don't seem to be able to work for them anymore. Young people are telling the parents, that was then. You're talking about old time thing. You stuck in the past, you know. Now, I understand what they are saying. But I also understand that this has a certain amount of virtue. If they don't start here, they can't get to there. And if they do get to there, they would have missed out. You do A, B, C, D. You leave out E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. And you reach X, Y, Z. And when you go to the university, you realize that you want E, F, G, H, I, J, K. You can't go back.
The fundamentals.
You can't go back. You've already skipped it, you can't go back. You can only pick a little bit as you go along. And that makes for very bad living. I don't want to go to a doctor now. because it's the same thing they have done. I don't want an engineer to do nothing for me now. I'm serious. I'm quite serious about what I'm saying. I'm quite serious about what I'm saying. Because the engineers are doing the same thing. They skip E, F, G, H, I, and that does not make for good living, because you cannot be a proper engineer if you skip all of those and not want to reach X, Y, and Z. Therefore, I have to take care of my health. Hence the reason that I'm 80 years and you can tell me that you have to buy a cream for me. I don't want no cream.
No, you need to sell the cream. I don't need to buy cream from you. I want to buy your product from you.
No, I'm trying to show you how you transition from one place to the next.
The question I have, the final question. Aunty C, listening to you, I hear the social function and a deep investment into children. Mm-hmm. You're also interested in caring for yourself and having a certain quality
to
of
show
life.
You how to take care of you.
What does the future mean to you? What future is there for you that you can imagine for yourself?
Oh boy. I want to live until I reach 120 years. I'm serious. I'm very serious about what I've just said. And in a way, I am working and living towards living for 120.
My grandmother lived until 101. Just before her 102nd birthday, she died. So I think that's the goal as well.
Yeah.
But speak about that. Why 120 years? Tell me about that vision.
Because I have always asked God to keep me alive to see what kind of transition we'll get from the kids, from you all. I want to see how you all transit. And in the process, I want to be able to make a contribution towards it. Are you understanding me what I'm saying?
I understand clearly.
I want to be part of that contribution to that transition. Hence the reason I ask for those years to help.
This was brilliant. Thank you so much, Aunty C.
You're quite welcome.
I truly enjoyed it. And the company, I like the laughing as well. And
we laugh between ourselves when the day comes. Yes, she's always asking me, you want to be here with that? I says, yes.
I would like to see certain things, but my 120, there plenty for me.
120 young.
And listen to me, in the process, I'm taking her along with me, you know.
Oh, you going all the way to 120 too?
No, she doesn't want to go there, but I am taking her, I'm dragging her. The things that I eat and drink. Watch on top, look at there.
What is that?
All
Thyme?
those things.
Rosemary or thyme?
All these herbs, all different kind of herbs. And we use that on a daily basis. This morning I had coffee. Friday I had coffee. Thursday I had coffee, and Wednesday I had coffee. Tomorrow I may not have coffee, but I may have coffee because I want to finish the milk so it doesn't spoil. But during the week, that rosemary plant I brought for somebody. I rare herbs also, right? During the week after that, I have lanthanum camara, I have eyebright, I have a whole lot of different herbs, and I am going to use it. We would generally use that every day, a different herb or 2 or 3 herbs. I have olive bush, I have vervine, all the bay leaf, all these things we drink, and we take them on a daily basis, right? So in the process, she's going along with me, whatever I do, whatever I eat, whatever I drink, and that's how we live. So it doesn't matter what she say about me wanting to be 120. She's going along with me, dragging her along with me as I go.
So we'll be friends for a very long time.
Yeah, nice. She was 17 years when I was what? Must be about 20. I was living right on the hill across here. You know where Simpson is?
No.
You're not from Port of Spain?
No, not tongue thing.
Okay. Simpson is across on Pickley Street. It used to be, because I don't think they are there anymore, but the building is still there. And I used to live at the top of that, where a man that is called Bishop Griffith, he was one of the oldest Baptist patriarchs they had in the country. I used to live right next door to him. And if you go out and then you look up, you're going to see it. Something Spiritual Baptist Church is still there. I used to live next door. I wasn't a Baptist at the time. Right? This came a long time after when I went to Tobago to work, because I worked in Tobago for almost 20 years also. And I've moved about the place. I've looked at how people live, what they want, what they feel they want. And what people feel you want is the same thing I did want. What you feel you want is the same thing I wanted. But we evolves. That was for that time for you. That was for what time for you. We all want the same things. Yeah, just we want it at different times. Always we want love. We want a nice home. We want to drive a nice car. We want to be able to tell the neighbor, my house better than yours. All those things. Why are you laughing?
Why you had to tell the neighbor your house better?
Because it happens. It happens. It's practical. It is what happens in the lives of man. I tell you, I'm being practical. I listen to people. Sometimes I correct them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I make it a joke, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just listen because it's the time for me to just listen. That's just normal. And people seem to feel that it is different. It is. There is no difference. I want a nice job. I want to wear nice clothes. I want to eat nice food. I want to go nice places. I want to do nice things. I want to sit in a nice restaurant. I want to walk in and be admired and looked at and say, oh, she looks good. We all want the same. Don't you want that? We all want the same thing. It's just that we want it at different times. What I'm telling you is what I wanted at one time. And I got it. I worked towards that. I got it. And I have walked through that period of my life. And I've come out and to reach this period of my life. We all want the same things. Sometimes we want it at different times. Sometimes we get it at different times. Sometimes we go through hell and high water to ensure that we get it. Sometimes people ask a question and she say, sister, you had 4 cars already. And people never believe that I drive. I still carry a license up to now. I renew my license every year. Because sometimes my friend would call me from Tobago and tell me, here, I'm putting a car on the boat. And I can only get a ticket to travel down tomorrow evening, so and so. Check the captain for my car keys and move my car off the boat and put it in a car park for me until I come down. Those are the things that I still do. People can't even think about it. But that's my life. I like it. I love it, in fact. And I live it. I'm not as sprightly as I used to be, but I'm alive.
We are alive. Thank you so much, Aunty C.
Thanks for joining us on Comin Up Charlotte. This podcast is part of a wider project that includes poetry, visual art, and a final community event, all shaped by the stories we've gathered here in East Port of Spain. To learn more, follow along, share an episode, or start a conversation of your own. Thank you again for listening.